Coffee, a cup that we all love, aroma that keeps us energized, and a taste that will warm our hearts. If you look around, coffee shops are found in every corner and in everywhere. The coffee really lived up through its name as second largest traded commodity next to oil. But how did coffee become part of our lives anyway? Come, let's go back to the time where it began. It begins around 850 CE in the land of Ethiopia, when a goat herder named Kaldi saw one of his goats that became energized and dancing around after eating a mysterious berry from a tree. Kaldi reported his findings to the abbot of the local monastery, who made a drink with the berries and found that it kept him alert through the long hours of evening prayer. The abbot shared his discovery with the other monks at the monastery, and knowledge of the energizing berries began to spread around the world. Along the equatorial zone, between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, there are three primary coffee growing regions called Coffee Belt, and this consists of Latin America, Asia Pacific, and African Arabia. And each of these regions produces a distinct and unique flavor of coffee. Latin American coffees tends to be clean, familiar, and friendly, with flavors reminiscent of nuts and cocoa. Coffees from Africa Arabia are extraordinary and enticing, with floral aromas and flavors of berries and citrus, while coffees from Asia Pacific tend to be bold and assertive, full-bodied with earthy and herbal flavors. Each of these single origin coffee exemplifies best flavor quality of its region. Sadly, not all coffees are created equal. Even though there are a lot of different species of coffee, there are two kinds that are most recognized and contributes a high percentage to the coffee trading, and these are Robusta and Arabica. They are greatly different from each other and has their own characteristics. Coffee Robusta represents 40% of global coffee production and does not need a high elevation for it to grow, and only produces a hard fruit that is not as susceptible to pesky insects. On the other hand, coffee Arabica only grows more than 600 meters above sea level on the mountaintops and tropical environments, where it contributes 57% of coffee production. Coffee Arabica has less resistance to pests and drought that results to a less hard coffee bean but has more refined flavor. Arabica are known to create a high quality and more flavorful coffee, but Robusta has more caffeine contained by weight. Just like wine, coffees develop its flavor from the land it is being cultivated from. If the soil is used to being planted by nuts and cocoa, the coffee trees adopts it and flavored its fruits like nuts and cocoa. That's why the coffees of Asia Pacific region has the aroma of herbs and spices, is because the countries from these regions are known to be the main exporter of herbs and spices. Climate also has a big factor for the coffee to have a great flavor and aroma. The high altitude it is grown, the lower the temperature is. Thus, it results from the coffee to slowly grow from the tree and has more time to develop its unique and great flavor. How it was processed also impacts to its flavor profile. And there are three commonly used methods to process coffee, and these are wet, sun-dried, and wet sun-dried processing method. Depends on the processes done to coffee cherry will contribute to the acidity of the coffee. You might be wondering how a red cherry becomes a coffee bean and turn it into a cup that we so love and enjoy. Harvesting of coffee cherries lasted for 3 months, usually from September to March, picking only the bright red ones. Using the wash processing method, it will be sorted out and plated in a fermentation tank filled with water until machine removes the outer skin and pulp the coffee cherry. Then after, they will wash the cherry, making sure that all the mucilage is gone. And afterwards, it will be sun-dried that will last for a week depending on if the cherries are hardened. The adventure of the coffee does not end here. Coffee experts will check the quality of the coffee if it can withstand the roasting period. There are three main types of coffee roasting, and these are blonde, medium, and dark roast, depending on the hardness and the flavor that the roaster wants to highlight to choose what roasting type they will use for the coffee bean. Roasting will greatly impact the weight of coffee to our palate, or how long it will stay on our tongue. Following the roasting period, the beans will now then placed in a special container for it to fully develop its aroma and flavor. It depends on if the goal is achieved, it will now be available for delivery and brewed to your cup. Before we enjoy our cup, there are different methods on how we can brew our coffee. And these brewing methods will highlight a certain characteristic of the coffee. I know you're a bit curious as to how we can brew our coffee, right? Good thing I have a barista friend that can show and teach us how to brew using one of the traditional brewing methods. Come and join me visit our friendly barista in Pasig City. Here we are in one of the coffee shops here in Estancia Mall Capital Commons. And let's meet our barista, Tats. She will show us the standard way of brewing using pour over cone brewing method. She is very knowledgeable about coffee as she is a certified coffee master and a barista trainer, and she's been a barista for almost 4 years. For brewing pour over cone method, there are several steps that we need to follow. Step 1. Prepare all the tools that you need with a clean hand. Step 2. Place a filter in the dripper and wet it to remove all the paper residue and preheat the carafe. Step 3. Using 30 grams of coffee, grind coffee to a coarseness and resembling to a sea salt. Step 4. Dump the water before proceeding with brewing. Add the ground coffee to the filter and gently tap it to level the surface of the grounds. Place the brewer on a carafe and place this entire setup onto a digital scale and set it to 0. Step 5. There will be 2 pours total for this coffee preparation. This is the first and the most magical because it is when you will see the coffee to bloom or the blooming stage. As hot water first hits the grounds, the carbon dioxide is released, creating a blossoming effect. The grounds will rise up. Start a timer. Begin pouring water slowly over the coffee, starting at the outer rim and moving in a steady spiral toward the center of the grounds. Stop pouring when the scale reaches 60 grams. Step 6. Starting in the center of the grounds, pour in a steady spiral toward the outer edge and then back toward the center. Be sure to pour all the way out to the edge over the ripples in the filter. This helps to keep ground from being trapped in there and removed from the rest of the extraction. Add roughly 90 grams bringing the total to 150 grams. The goal during this pour is to sink all the grounds on the surface of the bed and continuously add water until you created a total of 250 grams, and it should take 45 to 65 seconds to elapse. Step 8 and the last step. We will know that we need to remove the brewer on top of it if it's already begin to produce a single drops. And we don't want to overbrew our coffee as it will result to a bitter taste. And after this, we can now all enjoy our freshly brewed coffee. Exciting, right? I hope watching this video, I already encourage you to become a coffee enthusiast. I would love to know how much fun you enjoyed the video and how much you've learned about it. There's a link below in the description box that will take you to a Google form. Just fill out all the boxes and answer the questions with the best that you can. I'm hoping for your participation. That's it for today. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Bye!